Guest is the congressional candidate from a New Jersey district, District 5, who says the Trump tax cuts will be good for New Jersey's middle class. Now, let me explain something here. The last time he was on this show, I got to admit, I was rude. I didn't give the man a chance to make his case. So we're bringing him back, and I say welcome back to Steve Lonegan. Steve,
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm going to shake that hand.
Thank you,
sir. You're a good man. Now, your point was that the tax cuts from President Trump are good for New Jersey's middle class. Spell it out.
Well, the middle class is going to benefit from what Donald Trump called last night the tax cut pay raises. So we're going to see that. But I think it's the top 1% that we were discussing on your show last time. And the fact, look, if you look at this from a static position rather than a dynamic position, you miss the fact that the economic growth is going to benefit everyone from top to bottom. And I could argue, especially the top 1%, because it's also caused our state Senate Democrat President Steve Sweeney to say that they need to put a pause button on Phil Murphy's plan to raise taxes on the wealthy and implement a millionaire tax. It's also causing state legislators to look at cutting spending and to look at raising the $10,000 cap on property tax deductions on the state income tax return to make up on the other end. So look, GDP growth rate is going to hit 4%. In your last segment, you talked about this, that it might reach it. I think it will reach it. And you know, Stuart, we often talk about this millennial generation. This millennial generation has never seen 4% GDP. And when they see it, there's not going to be any turning back. Well, so if you want to turn millennials into Republicans, show them real prosperity.
I've got to come back at you a little bit about the 1%. Now, granted, the 1% will do very well with their investments in the stock market and the growing economy. I got it. But the 1% will no longer, in New Jersey, if that's where they come from, they will no longer be able to deduct their state and local taxes, and they can only deduct $10,000 worth of their property tax. They will be underwater.
Except that you're subject to the AMT. And you're going to pay the higher of the two. So you'll be subject most likely to the AMT, and if you're in the AMT tax bracket, you're going to pay a lower rate of 2 points. You actually could benefit. At the end of the day, I believe you will see that the impact on that top 1% will be minimal. But overall, in terms of economic growth for the whole nation, it's going to be a big positive. Well, I don't think any of us want to hold 99% of America hostage for a short-term minor setback for that top 1%.
Agreed 100%.
I'm with you in that category, by the way. I know what you're talking about. I've spoken to my accountant.
But there is going to be an exodus of money from the New Jerseys, the New Yorks, and the Californias of this country.
And I would blame that on the failed policies of the state government of those states that have given New Jersey the highest and most progressive income tax in the country, failed state legislative. They can change that in New Jersey. And it's going to force states like that to make those necessary corrections.
You can't like the look of the exodus of GOP stalwarts from Congress. The latest is New Jersey Congressman Rodney Frelinghuysen.
Yeah.
Now, he's leaving probably because he thinks he's going to lose.
I don't think he would lose. I predict that this is going to be a very good Republican year, that an economic environment like we're seeing right now. And by the way, Donald Trump's speech last night was fantastic. It was the most uplifting, optimistic State of the Union speech I've seen in decades, and it's a sign of things to come. It's going to be a great Republican year. I'm sorry to lose Rodney. I've known him for years. He's a great congressman, but full steam ahead.
Okay. Congratulations on coming back to the show. It's nice to see you again, sir.
Thank you, Stuart.
Steve Lonegan, everyone. Thank you, sir.